Hey, my name is Aiden and this is the ultimate Xingqiu build guide for max support DPS and damage starting right now. Xingqiu has unique skills and abilities that are enormous when it comes to tanking damage. As his E skill, Xingqiu performs twin strikes with his sword, dealing hydro damage. At the same time, this ability creates the maximum number of rain swords, which will orbit any active character you choose to deploy. These rain swords have two properties to it. For one, when the character takes damage, the rain swords will shatter, reducing the amount of damage taken for a short duration. 2. It increases the character's resistance to interruption. One thing to note about Xingqiu is that 20% of his hydro damage bonus will be converted to additional damage reduction, and this is valuable especially for doing harder content in the game, which reduces character death and allows your team to do more damage over time. And as you use Xingqiu in your team, you'll realize how valuable it is to use his E skill as soon as it is up, as that twin strike hydro damage do come at an okay percentage, which will enable good damage. Another unique characteristic about these swords are the healing effect it gives based on a small percentage of Xingqiu's max HP, so this helps the sustainability. Xingqiu's Q skill is actually one of the best hydro applier in the game due to how it sticks to your active characters, which allows one of the best vaporize, freeze, and electrocute reactions. This ability though emphasizes on characters' normal attacks, so characters that are truly focused on charge attacks won't get the full benefit unless you do combinations of normal and charge attacks, which is actually viable to all main DPS except maybe Ganyu though. How you want to play Xingqiu is to maximize his E skill with that twin strike, preferably with vaporize for that double damage, also getting energy needed for the expensive burst, and use the burst whenever it is up so your main DPS characters can maximize DPS by doing normals and maximize elemental reactions so that your team can cruise past Genshin Impact. Hey, how you doing today? Allow me to introduce you to my Xingqiu build. It's level 80. For weapon of choice, Festering Desire. For the artifacts, 2-piece Noblesse with 2-piece Heart of Death. For the feather, attack with crit damage, crit rate, and energy recharge. For the flower, HP with crit damage, crit rate, and mastery. For the sands, energy recharge with crit damage, attack percent. And for the cup, hydro damage bonus with attack percent, elemental mastery, and crit damage with energy recharge and crit rate. And I also use Wondrous Troop, 2-piece with Heart of Death 2-piece. For the feather, attack with attack percent, crit damage and crit rate. For the flower, HP with crit damage, crit rate, and elemental mastery. And the same sands with the same cup and the same hat. For the constellation, D6, I got extremely lucky here. For the talents, 12 on the E and 12 on the Q. And I'll explain much more in detail in the build section, which is coming right now. Xingqiu is one of the most free-to-play friendly due to the availability of his best weapons, as energy recharge is one of the most important component to his build, and due to high energy needed for his burst and also long cooldown for his E, it's obvious that going for energy recharge weapons are greatly advised, as Fabonia's sword, Skyward Blade, and Sacrificial Sword all fit perfectly, but for the best weapon for these three, it has to be Sacrificial and highly refined so that you have a chance to proc the sword effect and use the E skill twice, hence making you use burst much more effectively. But using the Festering Desire can actually be better in some cases, as this weapon allows much higher increased damage with his E along with crit, also comes with energy recharge. This weapon has to be right up there next to Sacrificial Sword, and to top it off, if you're actually planning to use attack percent, crit damage, or crit rate weapons, this can actually be viable if you go for sands with energy recharge and high sub rolls on energy recharge on other pieces. This can actually be even better than opting for energy recharge weapons, as this will also capitalize in using energy recharge but also increasing damage for both elemental skill and burst. But to be fair, this route is going to take some serious time and investment for artifact farming, and because of the RNG system, most peeps are not going to achieve at least 180% energy recharge, as with going for energy recharge weapon and putting sands with energy recharge will achieve at least 180% very easily without using valuable resources. As for the best artifacts, 2-piece Noblesse along with 2-piece Heart of Flame is the best choice for big numbers, as 20% increased damage for the burst along with 15% hydro damage bonus is going to help dish out massive DPS. You can also swap out any of the 2 or 2-piece Wanderers or even 2-piece Gladiator if you have better substat rolls on these arties, which can work as well. But if you actually choose to go with 4-piece Noblesse for the increased attack for all party members, this can be a great option to have if your other 3 characters are not running this 4-piece set. For substats, mainly look for crit rate, crit damage, and energy recharge. Attack percent and elemental mastery are also good substats as well. Since Xingqiu is most prioritized on elemental reactions, Breeze team comps are as valuable as any other reactions, as this reaction enables insane sustain, and I personally feel like this is going to be more valuable as content gets harder in the future. Applying this reaction with any cryo character you possess is going to be very nice, whether you're using Chongyun to do it or burst ability from Diona, or if you happen to have Eula as a main DPS. Breeze reaction is definitely one of the best reaction for harder content, which makes you take little to no damage. Electrocute reaction actually deals one of the highest numbers for electro characters, and this reaction doesn't show insane numbers but massive amounts of small numbers everywhere on the screen. This reaction is great for any electro characters, where you're using it with Beto's burst or with Vishal and even with Lisa for the spread of electro. This ability is definitely underrated in Genshin, but it does have great clear fashion, as this reaction is actually great with Razor if you happen to use him as a main DPS. Finally, Vaporize reaction is Hydro character specialty, as it increases damage by 200%. So if you're using Xingqiu with main DPS Pyro characters, this reaction allows increased damage for both Pyro and Hydro, making this a great reaction to utilize. And because Xingqiu is one of the best Hydro applier in the game, utilizing this reaction is a great way to increase damage, and it definitely pleases the eye, as there is nothing more satisfying than seeing insane numbers on the screen. Investing in Xingqiu is not the worst thing you can do, as Hydro elemental reactions are really good in the game, and since Xingqiu is one of the best element applier in the game, he is going to be more valuable as more harder content in the game is going to be released in the future. This character don't need stage time whatsoever, which allows the main DPS carries to take on full stage time, while Xingqiu does damage and support with full capacity. I am having a great time using him in my team. I hope you are too if you're using him. While you're on cruise control, help your boy out with a sub. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Aiden, and I will see you in the next video.